Talladega once again shows why it is the most feared track in all of NASCAR. Hard crashes, cars going upside down and airborne, and we're always here for the speed. All right, guys, my name is DJ. I am with Here for the Speed. We had a good time watching the race for sure, and I am joined by...
Oh, sorry, I was drinking. My name is Jake.
It's almost like
Lost
I
my
planned
voice. Talladega, very exciting. I typically lose my voice on Super Speedway weekends, but I'm joined by...
Nate, and I'm joined by...
Insert drum roll. Local Brad Keselowski fan, Matthew.
Awesome.
That intro came at me way faster than I thought. I thought I had way more time.
It was perfect. It was like I planned that. All right, so we just finished watching the Talladega race. We had a pretty good crew here watching it with us, so that kind of hyped it up a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
But man, it was that ending. It
That
happened.
was something, man.
It wasn't quite the Xfinity race. The Xfinity race was kind of a little terrifying toward the end.
I mean, we saw a couple terrifying things. I mean, we'll talk about it, but it's some big wrecks that were certainly pretty scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And but no, I mean, what did you guys think of the race overall? How would you guys view it?
Well, I'm really happy Kyle Busch. I mean, he got robbed kind of the Daytona 500. I mean, not really. We all know the rules. They know the rules. It's not like he got quote unquote robbed, but nice to see him, get one this year or this race, first time in 15 years. So, I mean, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I thought it was very entertaining. There were moments, there were hardly any cautions, so it's like, you weren't getting a lot of that caution action. Yeah. But, the cautions that did come up, there were some big hits. But,
you definitely saw stage 1, stage 2, a lot of riding around, playing the fuel mileage game, and they got really racy towards the end of the stages. But then stage 3,
oh, man,
that's when it kind of lit up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to bring up, was just like, for a super speedway race, to be honest, I thought it was pretty mid. They didn't do much for a majority of the race. They could prove they could get that third line running, but they didn't.
It kind of felt like
don't know why.
I think I'm gonna disagree with you. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
you did.
I know, but like 2 years ago in the Gen 6, they would have ran single file. There was no single file running at all whatsoever.
But
I will take too wide racing all day long over
the too wide racing was good, but they couldn't get. I thought the Gen 6 car could have a lot better runs.
That's true.
They could get a lot better runs, and you could see people duck out, start the third lane, and get around people.
But they were able to start the third lane today.
No.
When they
not,
wanted
I'm sorry,
to,
I'm sorry.
they could.
Maybe not start a third lane, but they could duck out, get a pass, and get back in. Like you saw
when they're running
more
single
of that.
file. But that's the trade-off, right? I mean, do you want this package and double file the whole time and hard pushing?
I'm not saying it's a bad race.
Front?
I'm just saying
but
it wasn't exciting until the last 25 laps. That's it.
I say the last half of the third stage.
I just wouldn't call it mid because this is better than lately. Or I should say better than the last couple 4, 5, 6 years. Because the first 2 stages, they would just run single file the whole time. And I would rather have too wide racing throughout and hard pushing in the front. Yeah, some lead changes. Some
it's so hard. It's so hard to say this is better than the Gen 6 or this is worse than the Gen 6 because they have their pluses and minuses. They have their gives and their takes. You know, granted, yes, the too wide racing was great, but Keselowski said it best. He's like, I'm stuck in 25th. I can't move forward. Nobody's gonna jump out with me. I can't make those single car runs. He's like, I'm sitting back here with Buescher the whole time. He's like, I just have to pray and hope I can get a caution and get track position.
Yeah, but for example, I wonder if our perception in general, because we go to pretty much every super speedway without fail, with the exception of Talladega. I shouldn't say without fail because we don't go to the summer race.
We typically go to one
Atlanta
Talladega race at least a year. Yeah,
but this is also the first one of the year that we've actually not watched. Didn't watch it in person, right? Right. We watched it on the broadcast. So how much of it is because we were watching the race on the broadcast? Because when we we were at the very first Atlanta Super Speedway race, right? And we remember thinking how amazing it was and how it was so much better than the last Atlanta that we had, and how the entire time nobody in the stands wanted to sit down. But then you heard everyone on the broadcast and everyone that like watched on TV was like, yeah, it wasn't that great and stuff. And it was I feel like it was a total disconnect. Do you think maybe that's what happened here?
Well,
I think maybe that just like because we weren't there, the broadcast made it seem not as good.
I think that's always going to be the case. No matter what, if you're at the track, you're going to be a part of the environment. You're going to have more interaction. I mean, you're probably going to have radios. You're going to be smelling the fuel of the car. I mean, you're just part of the environment. So sitting at home, you're always going to have some kind of lacter of excitement. But I mean, just thinking about it, like I feel like it was a pretty basic super speedway.
I mean, I don't know that you're going to get the middle like what we're talking about, because they're not going to race hard until the stage, caution, or the end of the race comes, because nobody wants to risk their car.
See, but
the top 10 guys or 6 guys may race really hard, but nobody else is going to push.
I feel like last spring Talladega was a lot better than this spring Talladega. Last spring Talladega, when Chastain won, like granted Chastain.
No, I completely disagree.
I thought it was a better race than the fall. Remember, we were all expecting the fall to be some crazy race,
yeah, but
and
I
it
think,
wasn't.
As we've talked about, I think we've alluded to on here, we kind of have this opinion that the fall race was kind of a driver silent protest.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe they...
not all of us agree with that.
Well, that's true. But at least a couple of us do. That I think that there was a lot of safety questions about the car, and I think there was a lot at the time. They didn't want to go out crazy. And there was a lot of drivers that I think purposely were pulling back.
I don't think it's that. I think it took them to this race to realize what you need to get an efficient third line running. And it takes a fast car in the front, and the third lane can go. So if you get 3-4 guys that want to go, everybody's so tired of waiting in the 2 lines, you get help.
And it was great.
And it goes.
I will say,
but last year, we saw 2 file the whole time. There was no 3 wide unless somebody got shuffled. There was no third line ever last year.
In the fall,
only
for sure.
At Daytona in August was the only 3 wide racing we saw all year last year at super speedways.
I'd have to go back and check. I can't.
I put some of that towards it's a new car too. They're still learning.
It could be.
Yeah.
But to me, this was the best super speedway race in this new car so far.
I can't. I can't really argue. Well, okay, Matt.
Bro,
what would you say?
I think Atlanta was way more exciting.
It's different.
That's because Brad was in the lead at the end.
Yeah, I'm about it. Like, what more do you want from me? Like, Nate, it was way more exciting to me.
We haven't really heard Nate's opinion. Nate, your first full NASCAR season. Yeah. What did you think? Like, I mean, compared to this to Daytona, compare this to Atlanta, race wise, what did you think?
I felt like there was a lot of aggressive racing, which is key to the excitement. I think that there was a lot of good blocks. Things like that I love to see on super speedways. I mean, because there's one thing to block somebody on a short track, but it's another thing to make a block on a super speedway.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Oh yeah, we got blocks coming up in the about it not about it section for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty exciting. Super speedways, there's really nothing like it. So
that's true.
No, it's a beast all its own.
Yeah.
You went to Atlanta with us, right?
Yeah.
Would you say Atlanta was better than this race?
I'm gonna say this one was a better race.
Wow. I agree.
Yeah. I mean,
Atlanta was good though, but it's different.
I only had one gripe with Atlanta, and that was pit road.
When Brad walked by you on pit road, or like
he didn't sign your buns.
No, the entrance to pit road.
No, the pit road thing was a little that messed up.
I get why they had to, but man, that was horrible.
I agree. So let's talk about some of the topics we kind of wanted to get into. So one of the things, obviously, we aren't at this race. This is our first super speedway of the year that we have to sit here and watch it on TV, and we have to watch it.
Are you sniffing over there?
He'll be all right. You want to get a drink before we get into this? The Fox broadcast.
Oh God! Hold on. You've opened up Pandora's box.
I have. I realized that. So
you insert like some dramatic music, bro.
Dun dun dun.
Bro, I'm gonna rage.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
it's coming.
I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
Last week, the Fox Sports app has the audacity to ask me how likely I am to recommend it to another friend. If 0 was an option, I would have picked it, but it was a 1 out of 10. I gave them a 1, and they're like, "Oh, tell us why." Like, bro, the Fox Sports app is so trash and crashes so many times. Doesn't matter if I use the app on my phone, the Xbox, the TV, the cable. Doesn't matter. The Fox Sports app is so trash. Bro.
Hold on. Get this man some water. He's losing his voice more.
I cannot wait for NBC because that app almost never crashes. I don't understand how you can be 2-3 years in. We've been watching on the Fox Sports app, and this is still a problem.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Even on my computer, it crashes.
Actively getting worse.
Bro, it's so bad. It
crashed,
sucks.
I want to say 4 times today during the race.
Yes, and why I'm so mad and lost my freaking mind yesterday.
And voice.
Yes, facts.
And voice.
2 laps to go in yesterday's Xfinity race before the big wreck with Daniel Hemrick throwing that major block. The app crashes, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, like it's so trash. Bro. The Fox broadcast, the commentators today, amazing. You know, there's some other stuff we're going to talk about.
But like
the app is so trash, and I wish they would just get rid of it and force me to go to something else and figure something else out. Because I can't. Like, I'm going to drop cable. I hope you're listening, Xfinity. I want to drop cable and just go by YouTube TV and try to find something else because the Fox Sports app is that bad.
The only thing is I don't know that would fix the problem.
Well, if you go to YouTube and you're streaming via YouTube,
maybe, but if it's the direct feed to them,
I don't know, bro. The Fox Sports app needs to figure their crap out.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, and like I said, it doesn't matter. It's my phone. It's Matt's phone. It's his Xbox. It's my Xbox. It's the TVs. It doesn't matter. It always crashes.
We were over at your house, wasn't it? And every time we try to load it on the Xbox, it just doesn't. It doesn't load at all.
I literally have to. The only way I can get it working at my house is I have to stream it from my phone, connect it, and pair it to my TV. And then I can't use my phone the whole day.
And I will say, like, we are not computer illiterate people. Like, I consider myself pretty tech savvy. I have gone to these devices, these Xboxes. I have reinstalled it. We have cleared caches. We have done all of this pretty simple stuff.
We have done all the doings.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
The only thing I can do is hire a programmer to rebuild the app. Like, that's all that's left.
A multi-billion-dollar company can't get an app right. No, it makes no sense.
Bro, so to answer you, Fox Sports, my recommendation for anybody else is do not ever use this app. Go somewhere else. Do something else.
Anything.
What else?
Hey, Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, no, the Fox Sports app is trash, dude.
Thank you.
It really is. Like, it messes up the whole experience.
It does, bro.
Something like you said yesterday, with Hemrick, it was like we were in a moment and boom, crash.
Ruined it.
Ruined completely. So
and by the time it finally comes back on, a car's upside down. There's smoke everywhere.
Like, what the heck just happened?
Literally ruined the moment.
You have to completely close out and force close the app, then reopen it.
But it wouldn't even open on the Xbox. It wouldn't even reopen. Yeah. And then we had to go to the TV. It just sucks, bro.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay, so
this is the app. We're talking about the rest of the body crash.
To be fair, this is the app, the streaming app, the standalone whatever you want to call it, streaming app, bad. Fox Sports or whatever. So watching it on TV, if you have direct cable lines, which we did today, because we couldn't put up with the app anymore.
It crashed twice. We gave up on it, or maybe 4 times. I don't even know. We gave up. I went and pulled my cable box out of a different room and plugged it in where we watched the race because I was so tired of it.
Yeah. So to be fair, it's not necessarily a problem with Fox dropping the broadcast. It's a problem specifically with the app. I just want to make sure we clarify that. So, but yeah, no, that is. I think it's just unacceptable at this point. I mean, like Matt said, you have a I don't know if it's $1 billion company or million. They make plenty of money.
I'm pretty sure Fox is multi-billion.
They probably are.
Well, they're owned by Disney, so they're definitely $1 billion.
Well, some of it is. That's where it gets weird.
It's probably the app part.
Probably no, because Disney Plus works. So that's what I'm saying. So but seriously, you get YouTube TV, you have Amazon TV that do sporting events, and their apps are fine.
NBC, fine.
NBC's fine.
Peacock,
it's clearly
Peacock. I don't think Peacock has ever crashed on me once. Ever.
I've had a couple of times where it just all of a sudden freezes. But that's still better than Fox. The Fox Sports app.
I use Peacock probably the most. As far as TV, streaming, sports, when NFL's back on, you can watch half the games on there. It's great.
And the thing is, they have to realize that this is where the future of everything is going.
I don't think they do.
I don't know if they do or not, but it's look, cable is dying. I don't care what anybody says. Cable's dying.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think NASCAR's viewership is down because people are leaving cable.
I'm sure it is.
There's no other explanation why it's down 15%.
So why does NASCAR?
They can't watch the race.
Probably because the apps crashed.
So so why doesn't NASCAR partner with YouTube TV, Amazon Prime? Because we know they've done.
We'll see what the next deal is. We don't know.
Whole new TV deal coming.
That's coming, and I'm seriously or Peacock even
Isn't it NBC? Isn't NBC taking over?
No. So Fox and NBC split the year. Fox does the first half. NBC takes over second half.
You'll see as we get to that.
As of now.
Okay.
You'll see when we get to the NBC part, it's a
world
of difference. Much more professional. Wait. I will say
my boy will be in the booth.
I will say that the as far as the commentators this week, I thought were really good. I love when Tony's in the booth.
Tony and Clint Boyer's dynamic is fantastic.
It's really good.
And Mike Joy.
Mike Joy is just good all around, so I don't think we can really shame him too much.
Their
thought
energy
was
way better. I like how Clint, it's like he's heard some of the feedback and he's shifted from comedic relief to more of an analyst.
Yes. With a little bit of comic still there, but
he's way better.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now that we've kind of beat that dead horse more, what did you guys think of the race? Do you think maybe it was too hard to pass today?
Wait, can we talk about commercials?
Well, that was coming up later, but yes.
Okay, no, we'll talk about it later.
Well, hold on, is it? I don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I put it. No, we took it out. Yeah, you're right. So go ahead and
Here's
talk about
my thing, man.
That was a topic.
Green flag super speedway racing, especially when the first 3 wide racing of super speedway that we've seen in almost a year, as soon as it starts, you go to a full screen commercial. Hot trash.
Super trash.
Yeah. And that's broadcast. That's not the app.
Yep. No super speedway race, green flag racing should ever be a full screen commercial.
See, I don't think any race in general should.
I agree.
If you have the ability to do split screen, why?
Can we be real?
Why not?
When it's a full screen commercial, what do?
We still watch?
No, a full screen.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yep.
We get up, we go pour a drink, we grab a bite of food, whatever.
Yep.
We leave. We go outside, hit the restroom. When it's a split screen, what do? We sit down the entire time. So who is lying to these networks saying that they watch full screens and not split screens? It's bull crap, bro. You should be able to get double money for a split screen.
Yeah.
If I'm wanting to sell a commercial, bro, I will want a split screen.
That's good.
Knowing that the younger demographic wants split screen, bro.
I agree.
Why are they always the same commercials too?
I don't care.
Oh, well, hold on. Is that because we're watching on the app or not?
That could be because of the app.
The app, I noticed, does have the same several commercials, but it's not the same on broadcast.
It's a different sell package.
Yes, it is. So that could be some of the issue.
Well, some is. Some buy both. Some buy just the app.
But
that's why you get those weird pauses. Oh, the sport will be right back. Da da da.
It's still silly.
Look, I'm not arguing that, but
imagine you go to a full screen commercial, and because you're not split screen, you have to sit there and watch a blue screen saying your event is under commercial, and we'll be back full screen. Bro, trash.
Well, how many times have we watched the race where all of a sudden it comes back, caution, and it's like, I'm glad we didn't see that.
Yeah,
or there will be they'll be crashing, and they're like, all right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and they're literally wrecking, and they still go to commercial.
They go to commercial immediately. It happened at, I think it was the 500.
Yeah,
I think it was the 500 this year, where literally they're like, I was watching it, and it was the most meme moment I have ever seen in my life, because literally I'm watching it and they're like, all right, we're gonna go to commercial and we'll come right back, and then they do their outro like little animations, and then immediately a wreck happens, and it takes 2 minutes for us to come back. Now I understand the 500, there's probably a lot of commercial deals. That's obviously their biggest race. I get it. From a business standpoint, like, they got to get their commercials in. I get it, but come on, like,
they gotta put in the playbook to be able to call some audibles,
yes,
and fixes.
I agree. So okay, going back to our topics today. Now we kind of again beat that dead horse even more.
Sorry, I'm just really mad about it.
I can tell. This is why Jake.
I didn't notice.
This is honestly why Jake doesn't have a voice.
Big facts.
No, that's 100%.
I was screaming yesterday. I was so mad.
He was raging. I wasn't even here, and I could hear him from a couple miles away. So, do you guys think it was too hard to pass today? We heard some comments from Matt's favorite deity, and and
Brad
Keselowski, that he can't pass. There wasn't a whole lot of movement through most of the race. What do we think? Do you think it was too hard to pass out there?
I think it was. I mean, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. It looked like they could, but they didn't want to, and maybe that's on the driver. I mean, we were kind of flirting around with the idea of, oh, well, what if they did what they do with road courses and stop the cautions for stages? For stages. And Jake, you alluded to them just saying like, oh, well, just go single file the whole time. I don't think so anymore. I don't think they would. I think they might do it for a little bit. And I mean, they're going to have to pit every 20, 30 laps for fuel. I don't see it being that way anymore. I think that was just an old product of the car at the time, and it's just not going to happen anymore. If they can make the runs and get there, they're going to. It's just, I don't know. I thought it was too hard for them to pass. You couldn't see them jump out and make moves. They were in their line until someone decided, they're going to jump down.
This is what it was before.
Yeah.
They would all run choo-choo train, single file across the wall in the highest lane, and nobody would go bottom until 3 laps to go. I would rather 2 wide and the lanes are fighting and you see at least a race between the top 5 or 6 versus just run single file the entire time.
They weren't able to pass in the mid-pack. You were stuck where you were.
Same thing thing before.
Is that because they don't want to, or is that because they can't?
I don't know. I think they need to bring back some kind of solution to where you start getting points for running up front.
I feel like I saw a lot more passing today than I have at other speedways in the beginning of the year.
Okay,
I agree.
Who passed then?
The lead swapped a lot. You didn't see how many drivers had led a lap. It was over half the field.
I mean, yeah, but you got to throw in cautions were in there, pit cycles. Like,
That's
you can't just
changes.
say it. Yeah, okay, but you can't. That's not under green.
I mean, you had Blaney and Almirola
It's
up
the
front.
same argument that
you had
Hamlin's
Bubba.
having.
You had Baby Gibbs up there for a while. I mean, you had there was a full list, and every
500
caution.
miles.
Harrison Burton up there, like where?
But you
where
couldn't
did he come from?
You couldn't see someone in like the last few laps.
I agree with you.
Go from 15th and get a strong run and make it up to the
Yes,
top.
you
5.
could, because
Bro,
when
we saw that today.
they wanted a third lane, what happened? It showed up, it took off, and the third lane went to the front.
I mean,
dude,
I think they're content with riding and saving fuel.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
been like that for 10
All right,
years.
it can't be 500 miles. Drop it down 25 miles.
That's only 25.
That's it. Make it a real quick shootout.
Make
10
it a
laps.
200
Figure out where
oh
you
my
should,
God.
Figure
Make
out
it
where you come.
250.
I'm telling you, man.
I don't know. I thought
No,
it was,
I like it because the long race, you got to play the fuel strategy. You got to execute on pit road. You got to maintain your track. It's a long race to get to the last 25 laps where you can be in a position to race. It's a whole. You got to put the whole thing together.
Game.
I mean, I get that. I
And
don't know.
You're talking
I felt
about,
like they
you're
could've
talking about
passed.
passing. Look at Brad. He started in the back of the pack.
but he had to get
Finish
there.
top
But
10.
he dropped to the back a couple times.
Yeah, dude.
I think he came down and got gassed that last run, didn't he?
Well, I'm saying
There
but
was
he
once or twice at least where he totally backed out of the draft.
There was
and
a
didn't
couple
want
times
anything
he
to
was
do with it.
middle of the pack. He went to the third lane and just parachute out, went to the back.
Now,
But intentionally
But I was gonna say,
went to the back.
was that a strategy or was that?
Yeah, bro.
Like I
he
think
didn't want
that
to get
was-
up there and race for stage points.
He
He was
finished
like, I'm
top
going to race
10.
for the win.
Yeah, I think that was his play there. So I don't know. I don't think it was necessarily too hard to pass. I think you had people playing the long game.
Yeah.
I think you have people that are looking at this race and they know super speedways. It's all about surviving. It's
Yes,
not
yeah.
about
That's
getting
true.
stage wins, getting stage points. It is about being there at the end.
Yep.
Because super speedways, you just never know.
And you're gonna see who can make it and who can't take it.
Yeah.
Just look at Bubba. We were like, "Whoa, is Bubba gonna do this?" Can't handle that front spot.
Don't worry, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So okay,
I would say real quick,
Yep.
I think some takeaways next year or next Super Speedway race, I think I care less about handling. I want more speed, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speed like Baby Gibbs.
Maybe that's
It was
all it
clear.
was. Maybe that's
Maybe.
all it was.
Like-
it
this
was a
race.
setup. They missed the setup. a little
Everyone,
bit.
no, I think a lot of people went for handling instead of all out gun at speed. Who was the fastest car? We said it several times. Blaney and Almirola.
I think Blaney and Almirola were the
they had
fastest
the
pair.
fastest cars, but I don't think they necessarily had the best handling cars. but they could push.
But
and
they ran the apron.
Can I
what
be
else
honest?
You want? They ran the apron.
Bubba looked really fast today.
Bubba was super fast.
Yeah,
but
he was.
Really fast,
he was
dude.
stuck behind a slow 54 car.
Yeah.
That 54 was not fast.
Yeah.
Well, it was fast, but it wasn't fast enough to go up there and
it wasn't trimmed. It wasn't trimmed for speed.
Nobody went and took, like you were just saying, took the lead. They didn't
No,
get
they
out
did.
front and dip down.
They did, but once they dip down, it kills the outside. And until you get another guy that's like that,
I saw them all stick with their manufacturers. I mean, there was a few times where
I agree with you on
Bubba
that.
was up front and he was a car length ahead, and he did not choose to go down and block Blaney or whoever was there.
These are the times I don't like the manufacturer lines.
Yeah.
Because if I was Ty Gibbs, knowing I'm not fast, bro, I'm going to get in front of that 12 car, bro.
All day.
Forget about a team
and
alliance.
just hang on.
Oh, my God.
And hang on as best you can.
Bro, the 10 and the 12 could push so good. Like
For about 20 laps, I thought the 54 was going to wreck. I was like, Bubba's going to push him too hard.
Yep.
He's not going to be able to handle this.
Oh,
He's
he
gonna
was
wreck.
wiggling like crazy.
Hey,
He had handling.
Oh yeah, he was loose.
hats off to him to being able to hold on to it.
You know, yeah, because we have not been the biggest fans of Ty Gibbs to be fair. So yeah, man, hats off to him because he held on to that thing very well. So another thing I want to talk to you guys about during this race that we discovered was obviously a huge hit toward the end of the race with Ryan Preece and Kyle Larson. Man, that was probably one of those scariest impacts I have seen in a while.
Yeah, man. My God. I'm so thankful it wasn't on the driver's side.
Can you imagine?
Flat out T-bone.
No, bro.
No. So, okay. So I'll kind of point it out to kind of get us there. So when he hit that side, you can see the roll cage. But I don't know if it necessarily failed or if it just moved a lot more than it's supposed to. But I don't. What did we ever figure out what piece of the roll cage that was all bent up?
That is the top bar that's underneath the window.
So it's under the window, and it bent up.
No, even worse than that, where it goes back and ties back to the rear post of the window. That whole section, they blew it up. That whole section was separated from the rear post. So that panel, that roll bar, is a whole section. It's a one piece. And the whole thing was broken. I mean, it's horrifying. If this is on the driver's side impact, I don't see any scenario where Kyle Larson is not seriously injured.
Yeah, that was
for sure.
That was terrifying. We watched a couple of the replays. I even recorded it again and stuff like that because that hit by Preece and even Preece's in-car cam.
Oh God,
man, that looked rough.
That was brutal.
Really rough.
There were some hard hits this week.
Yeah, I mean, not even really talking. Haven't even really mentioned the Xfinity series. Xfinity had a bunch of hard hits, this week. Mm-hmm. But so going kind of back to Larson's, is this something that NASCAR should be worried about with the next gen?
If I'm NASCAR, I don't know how you're not scared to death.
Yeah. Oh, you have to.
And
be.
that's why they're not adding any speed, bro. They're not adding horsepower because, dude,
there's no way.
Imagine if they were going faster, bro.
Yeah.
That could have been
not my
way
bunch.
Worse. Bro.
You wouldn't need much more, like an extra 10 miles an hour.
And I don't blame that on Preece at all.
It was not anybody's fault
because
Kyle Larson coming back across the track like that. This speaks to the car, bro. It's bottoming out. He has no control. It's going wherever it wants. The old car, the way it was built, the whole like Ryan Newman's crash, the whole car bent. This car didn't do that. It didn't bend. Just the center failed.
Yeah.
Or what looks like it failed. I mean, we're not obviously in the R&D center.
Yeah.
But it looks like the center, based off of what we saw in the replays, that center section was compromised. Mm-hmm. There was no bend of the entire chassis. There was no absorption of the hit. This car is too rigid, man. I'm really scared that we're gonna see the next fatality or career-ending race in this car.
I mean, we
saw one.
We
saw one with Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch technically is a career-ending.
Still not clear to race.
Yeah. The last update we had was Daytona, but he wants to race.
He wants to race.
So
he wants to run part-time in 2311.
Yep.
He's said it a few times. If he's not in it or not announced any plans, that tells you he's not cleared to race.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what NASCAR does because the problem is in my opinion, so the little bit of engineering I understand is when a car gives, then it's obviously going to be a lot more giving and it's going to absorb the impact a lot more. When a car is more rigid, it's going to not absorb those impacts. Based on what I saw in Kyle Larson's car, it absorbed a whole lot, probably more than it should have. So is that not good, or is that bad? I don't know.
I mean,
fortunately,
I haven't seen the cutaway. I'm sure it's going to come out sometime this week.
They're
going to show the whole inside of it. But yes, to a point, it does look like it absorbed the impact.
Yes,
but it also failed because the components, the braces, don't look like they stayed together. Just from the broadcast. I mean, honestly, when you look at it, thank God, praise God that Kyle Larson and Ryan Preece were able to walk out of that one.
Yeah,
no serious damage. Obviously, they both look pretty shooken up, and I'm sure they're going to be vocal about it. Rightfully so. I mean, when you're in these cars and you got to move around, I mean, the only way you're going to get change is to be vocal about it. That's kind of why we yell at Fox Sports so much. We're hoping for change.
We're hoping.
I was super optimistic about this car. Looks great. Seems to be really good on 1.5 miles. Although a couple 1.5 miles haven't been that great yet. Right? A couple 1.5 miles this year haven't been great yet. But man, I'm really starting to get off the bandwagon.
You know what? To be totally honest, I mean, if you go back to just Logano's wreck, that looked bad too. Like, granted, he was able to finish the car, but remember
which one are we talking about?
When he spun out, right there. I mean, it was maybe 100 laps to go. He Corey LaJoie bumped him. He got loose off a 2, spun, hit the wall. I mean, his in-car cam was rough still.
I didn't see it.
I mean, to the point where he couldn't hold the wheel. He had to tuck in and hold his arms. He's like, I'm not breaking my arms for this. This ain't worth it. And obviously, he got to pit road. The durability of the car, he was able to continue racing. But I mean, that's a hard hit, man.
What I like about super speedway racing is it's dangerous. I mean, we see the flips in the Xfinity. Those guys get out. It's fine, but like this new Cup car, man, with the injuries last year, like I'm nervous, man. I don't like it. I like the exciting racing that can lead to like flips and all this like crazy stuff and like nobody gets hurt and all that. But this Cup car's track record isn't great so far. So it's
gonna take time.
I'm nervous, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think the biggest thing is it's tough to say for sure because I'm sure, like Matt was saying, I think we're going to find out more this week. I'm sure NASCAR is going to be on top of it because they even brought it up on the broadcast. They showed the car sideways, showed it. They mentioned it. There's a lot of people that are probably going to be pretty concerned about that. I'm sure NASCAR is
What are you
going to
do?
I don't know.
How long to get new parts? Next year?
Well, yeah, it probably won't be fixed this year.
So now potentially the driver's side is a weak spot.
Well, okay.
Jesus,
maybe
man.
Maybe the driver's side isn't weak. I don't know if the chassis is 100% even on both sides. Maybe the passenger side
from the models I've seen, they're pretty similar.
I was like, because the only reason I'm saying that is because maybe NASCAR knows, hey, on the passenger side,
they're very similar.
Okay.
So there is another brace, a little bit kind of because you know how you have the window net. And you also have the smaller section where the driver's side mirror is, that small mirror on the left side.
I mean,
there is another bar there.
I don't want to completely blame this on the chassis. I mean, I think we really got to just wait and see what NASCAR deems because, I mean, who's to say it wasn't modified? Not saying it was. Not saying it wasn't.
It is Hendricks.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
You make a point there. But I think that's,
I highly doubt
it. It's very unlikely.
I highly doubt they would.
This is like an innocent until proven guilty
kind
of idea.
Exactly. So I think once NASCAR looks at it, if they see any manipulation to it, anything whatsoever, I mean, it's going to be called out pretty quick because NASCAR's not going to take the blame for this. If they're like, oh, well, we have a perfect chassis, but X, Y, and Z happened to where this side failed, they're going to call it out.
If I'm NASCAR's insurance company who kind of hides behind the scenes, but there's like little sprinklings that they're involved in different things, bro. We're having a phone call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, bro. I'm trying to think. Ryan Newman's car, the roll bar didn't fail like that.
No.
And that was
it was compromised, but not whole sections.
He got hit on the passenger
from
side
the
too,
post.
Right? Yeah.
That's what's got me scary, bro.
Yeah.
I thought he was hit on driver's side, but
he was hit on driver's side.
It was driver's side?
Oh yeah.
I thought he went up, hit the wall,
but the whole car kind of caved in. But what scares me about this is the
this was worst case scenario.
Disconnected from the post.
Yeah.
That's what's horrifying.
And to be fair, this is a worst case scenario. I mean, it was a straight T-bone at pretty much 200 miles an hour. I mean, this was not a car, spun. This is Larson came straight across the track. Priest was barely
How easily could he have been coming up the track backwards, though?
Could have. And that's dangerous.
Yeah, but I mean, it comes with the sport. NASCAR's been dangerous.
To an extent.
Yeah, I mean, but you always see
the
things
last
like
car
this.
was not this dangerous. Dale Jr.
I mean, he's fine.
All right, so let me give you some
car.
context. The only driver to really miss a considerable amount of time from injury was Dale Jr. And that's because at a tire test, he blew a right front and hit the wall. It was the most extreme, horrible, perfect scenario crash. Imagine going at, I forget where they were, like Kentucky or Kansas or something.
We'll have to look that up.
He was going like 190, right front blows, massive, like 90 G.
Was this before the safer barriers too?
No, this was with safer barriers.
Okay.
But it was like he registered a 90 G hit in the seat. Which is, bro, it's massive.
Yeah.
But he had a history of concussions back in the old days before they had the Hans device, and he dented the roll bar next to his helmet. Right? So
and they just didn't say anything.
But he had a history of concussions, and they got worse, which that's how concussions work.
Yeah.
Once you get one, the next one's easier. And then the next one's easier. Then the next one's easier. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. That's why he quit. So excluding that, what was the worst injury?
It's hard to say.
Eric Almirola freak accident?
Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch is probably the only other one with his foot.
No safer barrier, though.
That's true.
Yes, that's true.
So, I mean, there's been some injuries, but like this car, there's like easily identifiable things they got to fix, man.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, last topic of the main race, 2 cars spin getting into pit road. Do we think that was just them trying to get in there too quick, or was there something there?
That's what I love about green flag pit stops and super speedways. It's exciting. It's super hard.
Trying to get all they can.
Like that entrance to pit road, the asphalt's getting old and bumpy. You can see them all kind of like bouncing down. Like I love it.
Tyler Reddick committed.
That
he
was
committed. Looking back at it, he probably should have waited. Just the next run.
Probably.
He should have. But he's like, I'm turning now, and he cut that wheel
from the outside lane.
Outside lane. So that was 100% Tyler Reddick, just being himself. And then I don't know what really happened to Chase Briscoe.
He locked the left front.
But then his wheel also wouldn't unlock.
That was so weird.
It's like his brake failed, but
I
was
thinking it was a brake rotor failure.
It's what it looked like.
I don't think so.
It probably isn't.
I was listening to Corey LaJoy's podcast this morning that he released, and he was saying that some guys, you know how they have those stops at the bottom of the car to stop the underwing from dragging? They have like those blocks. Some guys run them things, basically on the ground, and what that does is when they get pushed, it makes the race car sit on the racetrack. When it gets hit, it makes you handle a push way better.
Huh. Okay.
So I think he probably just had that thing where the tire was just a little bit flat and he was just sitting on blocks.
But he rebounded great. He had I think he finished top 4. He was
How
fourth.
did he get to his pit stall?
Hey, I don't know. There was a commercial. I wish I could tell you.
But I forgive him for that.
Yeah.
Hey, side by side.
All right, moving on to our about it, not about it section. So first one, this is where, if you've ever listened to us before, this is where we basically come up with a topic and then we basically say whether we are about it or we're not about it. So our first about it, not about it topic, the Xfinity package, specifically the Xfinity package at super speedways. Let me go with Matt. Do you want to take that one first?
I don't see how anyone could not be about it. The Xfinity package is by far the best racing package we have this year.
Across the board,
yes. Yeah. I think trucks are still really good. They're just obviously it's the truck race. It's going to be more chaotic. And then Cup Series, we're seeing the downfalls in some of the sponsor, the viewership, the attendance. You could see it across the board. But Xfinity, they just have an all-out great program. I think the car
Xfinity and trucks are up almost every single week.
It's great racing, and it's new people. New people are coming, and half the time I don't know who I'm rooting for now because the numbers have changed.
It's not a bad thing.
But it's like Sammy Smith coming in. Who is this guy? And he's coming in making a name for himself. Ryan Truex is now up there. Great for Ryan. Chandler Smith. A lot of Smiths. They're doing great.
Battle of the Smiths.
The Battle of the Smiths. Hats off. The Xfinity race was great. There was a lot of carnage at Talladega with the Xfinity race. Thankful everyone's okay, or at least seems to be okay from what they're posting online. But I mean, hats off, 10 out of 10. Xfinity race was great.
Yeah, we still got one driver that's still in the hospital, but they said they're just keeping him, keep monitoring. I think that was the driver of the 13 car, or I could be wrong.
It was the Ollie's car, wasn't it? The one that flipped.
It was the Ollie's car. Yeah, it was that's what the
Perkins, Blaine Perkins,
Blaine something. I don't remember his last name, but yeah, definitely him. So yeah, hey, glad to hear he's doing okay. They're just keeping him. The thing that worries me is when we're keeping him for observation. Is that concussion related? I mean, you flip 6 times.
Could be. I mean, to be totally honest, he flipped like crazy. But hey, everything on that car did exactly what it was supposed to.
Yeah,
the
so
cage stayed intact. He got out. He was able to walk away.
I'm totally in favor with it. I mean, right now, I don't know what you do to improve it. We have good racing. Don't fix what ain't broke, in my opinion. So, I don't know. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I mean, I'm about it. I mean, I think that's probably going to be the best Xfinity race of the year, in my opinion. That was exciting. 3 wide, big moves, big runs. I mean, the crashes were a little wild. I mean, we saw a flip at Daytona. No injury. I mean, these cars seem to be pretty safe. They flip wild. They hit hard, but guys get out.
Uh-huh.
I don't really have a problem with it,
Mm-hmm. No, they can definitely make sure.
I'm about it. I don't want them to change anything.
Nate?
No, so it was pretty wild. There was a lot of crazy crashes, and in the ARCA race too. But in them ARCA cars, man,
I didn't get to see the ARCA too much. I was running around. I wasn't able to watch it. I heard Frankie did pretty good though.
He did pretty good. He's the points leader now.
Yeah, that's good.
Gives me a reason to watch ARCA. Let's go. Let's go, Malcolm.
Bro, imagine if he wins the championship. Go, Malcolm.
Bro, I'm losing it.
Off the trucks. Let's go.
Yes. Put him in trucks. Let's go. Let's go.
Bruh.
That'd be awesome.
Crafton's got to be retiring here soon, right?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, I'm just saying.
Pick up that Menard sponsorship.
Let's go.
Easy.
So you about it or not about it?
I'm about it.
That's what we figured. All right, so moving on to our next one. Stage cautions during super speedways. So this would be, basically kind of like what the road courses do. I've heard people talk about the ideas where we basically eliminate the stage caution breaks. So they will still award stage points just like they do, in the road courses, but basically let them keep running. So to remove that caution. What do we think about those stage cautions specifically? What do we think, Matt? Nope. We're going Jake.
I'm about it. I like it because if you have a bad pit stop, it's not the end of your day. You can kind of get it gathered back up at you know what I mean? Like, because we saw a stage with 60 laps. So if you have a green flag pit stop in the middle and you have a mistake or you spin out, whatever, stage caution comes out, allows you to get back together, get back in the race and compete. And the bigger the field size, the better the super speedway race is going to be. So I'm about it.
Yeah, I'm about it too. I thought it was. I mean, there was a lot of green. A lot of green. It's like you kind of need. I mean, when they're just running, you need that break, man. Like let them take their break. Not let it affect the field at all, and just kind of like you saw a bit of a shift in the on the leaderboard. And so that to me makes it even better. So I'm about it.
So you bring up a really good point. And with one of these bigger, more high intensity races, you bring up a good point of them being able to have a break. I'm about that. I 100% agree. I think the drivers, it's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of running. It's probably hot. So I get that aspect. You're actually changing my mind a little bit, but I was more or less on the train of not about it because just from what we've seen with the road courses, I think it's been a better outcome. And I'm always going to be down for better racing. And if eliminating some I wouldn't mind if they just gave it a try a year. It's 4 races? 6 races if you want to count. But who knows if Atlanta is going to be
try it at Atlanta.
Yeah, try it at Atlanta.
Why not?
Man, they try everything at Atlanta.
That's exactly my point.
Might as well just add something else.
They tried it at Atlanta to make sure it's safe for Talladega and Daytona.
I would just like to see the principle, see how it would affect with the new car, with the drivers, with their strategies. I think it would be a nice change of pace.
Yeah,
I'm kind of afraid that everything would kind of get spread out because I remember super speedways.
If it does,
before stages.
Change it next year.
You just run. I can remember Daytona 500s where I went there and watched 160 laps of single file running. It was.
I saw that at a Coke 600 once.
So I mean,
Martin Truex won the whole.
Oh yeah.
Well, anytime Martin Truex wins,
it's different
like
when
that.
you go to a super speedway. You go to Daytona 500 and they run single file the whole time.
I mean, they do have their runs of that, but
the stage cautions help mitigate that.
I'm gonna be honest though, I am not for the stage cautions. I think at the super speedway specifically,
but they're still gonna race hard for the stage points and the stage win, but they're not gonna stop the race.
Why, DJ?
Why? Because I think that there's especially and Jake, I will say, did help clear this up with me a little bit today. For example, a caution we do a stage caution, right? And it's at minimum of 4 laps of cautions. A caution lap at Talladega and Daytona is a long caution lap. That is at least 10 minutes.
2 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is overall, it's at least
iRacing, bro. I got a lap counter up there, like tracking. I know, bro.
So, but my point is that is at least 10 minutes of time that we could shave off and kind of push the race. So if you take those 2 stage breaks at the end of stage 1, the end of stage 2, that's 20 minutes of racing that we just saved. Now you take basically a great 3-hour race and make it into a 2.5-hour race, or a 2.5-hour race and make it into a 2-hour race. I personally think that they need to at least consider it or try it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Because, I mean, at this point, it's done wonders for the road courses.
We've seen one.
It did wonders for that one road course.
It was better.
It was much better.
It was better, but let's
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that. But still, it did wonders for that.
Coda had a lot of natural cautions. When we go to these other tracks, I don't think we see
But
that.
I don't think at super speedways you see it get spread out anymore. I think the current package they got, there's not a lot of spreading out anymore.
No.
Bro, I don't know. Did you see that one? There was one of them where the Toyotas were 100 car lengths behind, half a straightaway.
Yeah, but what happened?
So if that happens,
after
their
a
pit
few
strategy,
laps, they came back
no, they
together.
did not.
There was a caution.
They did not until the caution.
There was.
So
right.
like if there's, I mean, so they're just gonna be. I just come from the perspective of been there, done that. Yeah. Don't want to see.
Get them out of there. Get them out of there, man. They had a horrible pit stop. Get them out. That's on you.
Harrison Burton, get him out of there. What was he doing up there? I'm sorry, guys.
Nobody knows. So
I've been there, done that. You know.
Yeah, I don't
want to see it again.
I don't know. See, so since I've been watching, it's pretty much always been stage racing. Maybe at the very beginning when I first started, it wasn't. I can't remember. So I mean, like, I don't know. I just see them. I still see a lot of riding around, waiting until stage 3.
I would encourage you just go back and look
watch.
at like a 2015.
They're spread out.
14. Just go watch the race.
I did. I watched the 2010.
Now that was a baller race.
That was a great race. I thought that was amazing. They actually played it.
Which 2010? Because you didn't say the.
I want to say it was the spring Talladega.
It was Talladega.
They didn't announce the time. I had to piece it together. It was like Joey Logano's second year.
Okay.
It was just I had to piece it all together. I'm pretty sure it was either the 2009 spring or the 2010. It was one of those two.
Okay.
It was great. The commentary was great too. So.
Oh, well, that's a resounding change.
So from what I pieced together, it seems like the commentary right now is very vanilla, average listener, if not new listener. The commentary back then was a lot more in depth. They were talking about the types of engines in the car, like, oh, this is a new FR8 Ford engine, and you're seeing oil, it's having a critical failure due to this. They went more in depth. Now they're just like, there could be the track bar. Oh, it could be, wedge is a little off. They just didn't get into the components.
I will say every single time they do a segment with Larry Mack in the cutaway car, or he starts explaining something, that is always my favorite part of the broadcast.
Oh, yeah. And it was It was Darryl
I
Waltrip,
learned so
Larry
much.
Mack, and Mike Joy. It's the same crew. It's just they had a lot more information.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our next About It, Not About It. Did Ross Chastain make too much of an aggressive move? Not necessarily, it wasn't the last caution, but it was the second to the last. Matt, let's start with you. What did you think? Was it too aggressive? Were you about it, not about it?
I was about it, 100%. He's got to make the move. Make the move because there's not a lot of passing. It's kind of what I've been talking about this whole time. If he didn't make that move, he was just going to sit behind Gragson and wait it out, maybe get a push and try to dip on the outside, but I see the result being the same. Gregson's going to have that fiery attitude to try to block him, and he's going to get wrecked anyways. He saw an opening and took it.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, one thing I can say about Chastain is that from the older clips that I've seen of NASCAR, he shows signs of a exciting driver.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the time. Like there's always something. Like they were 3 wide today, and all you see is Chastain coming up the middle, hits Almirola on the left, hits somebody. Like he was like going,
Oh yeah,
beating off both sides, and it's just like, whoa, what is going on? Everybody was freaking out. I'm super about it. Like, man, that was really exciting.
So I'm obviously Chastain's my boy, and so but I will say I try to be unbiased. So this may be biased, but I'm 100% about it. Big surprise. No, I think though, from a side point, you if you have the opportunity, especially that late in the race, I don't remember how many laps, like less than 10 to go. It was 6 or 7, I think.
I think it was like a 2-lap shootout.
It might have been. It was close. I mean, you get an opportunity, a window opens, and you got to take it. I think you have to. At that point, sitting back behind Almirola's not getting you anywhere. You got to try. You got to stick it in there.
He shows
Stop it,
like
Jake.
vintage. he races like classic NASCAR racing. You know what I mean? That was my point.
As long as it's NASCAR
I've seen
2003
like older clips,
on
and
the
he
GameCube.
looks like Dale out there, dude.
Ooh.
The way I'm
Hold
talking
on.
about
new boy about to make some.
Hold on, listen. I mean,
see
to a
Senior
certain
junior.
extent, but what I'm saying is his aggression, him coming up the middle like that, not afraid to take those risks.
He's never afraid to make a move.
And that's what I love about him. Like he's making me a fan of his.
Yep.
Just by seeing his type of driving, aggressive, wanting that first place spot, willing to do whatever for it, even if that means wrecking half the field. He doesn't care, man. He's going for it, dude.
Yep.
Like,
So,
out of there.
Yeah, he's in there like a bulldozer. Get him out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So, Jake, you've been pretty quiet.
I'm not about it.
oh my God.
Get him out of here.
Get Jake out of it.
Oh my god.
I think that's a classic example. I love Ross. Y'all know I love Ross. But that's a classic example of him being too impatient and costing him the race.
I mean, I think he got out okay.
No,
I mean,
he had to pit and go to the back.
Yeah,
Wait,
he did
why?
get out.
Ran out of gas.
That's true. That's
That's on him. That's on
So
his-
you got to know.
That was bad
Yeah,
strategy.
That's bad
yeah,
strategy.
but you got to know. Like,
But he made it out of that whole.
He did make it out of
He
there.
made it out of there. It was him and Blaney.
you're true. You're right. That's true. But you got to know, okay, I got maybe enough fuel for this last green, white checker. I can't be the reason of the caution.
But
So,
if it wasn't
like,
him, it was going to be
that's-
someone else.
He shoved him, got him loose, but I think it's a little better. You got a long way to go, 2 more laps.
So, okay.
Be a little more patient.
A little
In
more strategic.
Let Gregson get, he pushed him hard, got him a little loose. Let him get, re-gripped up and then try to make a run to the outside because the outside could make that pass.
So, what?
know.
How would you feel though if Ross say had enough fuel, and he could have made it without having to pit?
It was a
Would you
great
still?
move.
Make the move.
Yeah,
So it's so you a different.
But his crew
different
chief
thing.
knows. They know how much play they have.
Yeah.
Just like they know to tell him to pit because you're out. It's not because he started sputtering. It could be, but the crew chief knows. I mean, they measure the fuel when they take it out of the fuel tank.
Gotcha.
They know exactly how much fuel they put in that race car.
So you're
they
saying
have all the telemetry. They know exactly what it's burning.
You're saying because of the situation he was in that situation with low fuel,
cannot
he
be
should
the
not
reason
have done
of the caution, which I know Noah came down for sure.
There was a lot.
No question.
Happened.
Yeah.
But to make that move that fast, Noah can't. You put Noah in a position to make an easy mistake.
But, and I'm just going to throw this out there. He was getting pushed extremely hard by the 5 car. He could
have been. I got to see the replay where he had no option.
He had no option. I'm telling you, he had no option. It was either that or stacking up and check the whole lane.
If that's the case, then you get wrecked.
Yeah.
If he's pushing,
what does he do at that point?
You have to take it.
Yeah, it's wreck or be wrecked.
Exactly.
Wreck or be wrecked.
Wreck or be wrecked, dude.
Yep.
So I mean, So if that's the case, I agree. I'm about it. But if there's not, if you have the opportunity,
Larson was
it
pushing
seems
so
like
hard.
That should be the title for this podcast. Wreck or be wrecked. This is Talladega.
There we go.
All right.
I like that.
I'm putting that in.
But I think like
fair enough.
Patience seems to pay off at super speedways a lot. You know, if you're in third, instead of pushing the issue, you let 1 and 2 race it out, wreck each other, lose.
That's how Chastain got his victory at Talladega.
Who won today? Third
Kyle
place.
Busch in third.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
Third place
Patience
is the best place in the super speedway.
To pay off.
Yeah.
Where you that panic mindset. Bubba Wallace. We're gonna talk about it.
Yep.
That panic mindset gets you in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of Bubba Wallace, our next topic, Bubba Wallace's aggressive blocks leading to the very last caution. You want to take that one first?
Yeah, I mean, same thing like I'm saying. Excuse me. It's all about the lack of patience. Instead of let Blaney take the bottom, pick up the outside line, and try to make a run. But he just throws block after block after block.
No, see, I'm gonna.
You're gonna wreck, man.
I'm gonna have to disagree, because I'm about the blocking. You have no clue when that caution's gonna come out. He has to fight to stay in first.
Yep.
It's a super speedway. They're gonna wreck. They're gonna wreck on that last bit. He was the wreck, but you don't know what could be happening in 20th.
Show me another situation where you block that much and win the race.
His name is Dale Jr.
Not like that.
Okay, fair enough. Not that late.
Well, the racing was different when Dale Jr. blocked. You could aero block.
Because
not
Dale
physical, literally blocking.
The outcome, obviously, Bubba wrecked. But I'm not against the aggressive blocking. I wanted Blaney to win. I was rooting for Blaney the whole time. I was like, hey, Blaney, it's his time. It's his time to get the win here. This is his chance. And Blaney, rightfully so, should have got around him. Bubba threw some blocks, but you have to. I think you have to.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back 2020. Ryan Newman's back. Crash.
Yeah, he blocked.
Right? Denny Hamlin chooses not to block.
But he was in third.
When Ryan Blaney and Newman get a huge run and pass him, who wins the 500?
It was Blaney. Or it was Hamlin.
Patience. I don't know, bro.
It's hard to have patience out there, man.
What's better, bro?
If you're running and leading the race and this is your chance,
well, shoot. Look
at
at this race. The reason Kyle Busch won was because a wreck happens and he's in third and he got up in the front and won the race under the caution.
But now you could also say possibly Kyle Busch was patient.
He was.
He wasn't making some ridiculous hard pushes that was wrecking the people in front of him.
Yes, he did.
He did.
Wait, really?
Remember when they were too wide? And then he was the one that initiated that first hit that started. I think who was it in front of him?
I think Larson
was it Larson? Larson was in front of him. That made him get real loose. And then
might have been. I could be wrong.
They started pushing up. He started pushing up. Everybody was pushing up, and then that's when a wreck happened. So it's like, is he really like? To me, I'm super about it. You got to block. It's part of the sport.
Yeah.
It's part of the technique. It's part of the strategy. Right, and you can't take that from some drivers. Bubba's been behind for most of the beginning of the season. He's trying to get out there. He's trying to do what he has to do to stay out front.
You have to.
Dude.
Your boss is sitting on your pit.
So, I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Pressure,
if you're
bro.
just like, oh no, Blaney, just take the lane, and then a caution comes out, Blaney wins. What do you think Michael Jordan's gonna say to him?
Yeah, but at the same time,
you tried your best.
In my opinion, that's just circumstance.
It is 100%.
The way it shook out. That's the roll of the dice that comes with super speedways.
That's it.
I don't mind a block, or 2. But when
3 was aggressive.
When you
100%.
literally just try to stay in front of the 12, there's no way you don't wreck. Not in this package.
Bubba.
In the Xfinity, we watched it yesterday. In the Xfinity car, you can do this 100%. Jeb Burton did it yesterday.
A lot.
Perfectly.
Hey, so this is...
But Bubba Wallace in this car, in last year's Gen 6, you can't do this. And that's why Ryan Newman went to the hospital, bro.
Now, Bubba's car was stupid fast today.
Stupid
fast. Did he
fast.
trade handling for speed?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe that's why.
He's always fast, though, bro. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So I'll throw my little bit of my comments in on it. I think we all kind of hit the points. I think if I'm Bubba and I'm at the front of that race and it's 1 to go, I'm doing everything I can to make sure no one passes me. You have to. I don't think you can. I don't think I could fault Bubba. Sorry. I don't think I can fault Bubba for. Yeah, sorry. Just dropped my phone out of my hand. I don't think I can fault Bubba for making the blocks. Now, we could probably say things like, you know, he should have done a better job of throwing that block. Maybe that's I don't want to say an experience kind of thing with him, because I mean he's not always up at the front. I mean he's usually up there, but he's not like leading very often. So maybe he just
my thing is
thought it would work, but I don't know. I can't fault him. So like I'm about it. I want drivers at the front. You got to try to go for the win. You got to keep your position.
And he was forcing.
He can't let Blaney go.
He was forcing the push, right? Because we've learned. I mean, these guys know you got to be with with steady lines. You know what I mean? You got to have people behind you. So like you need those bumps. Those bumps are what's gonna put you even more. He got a lot of help today.
And this is why I'm not about it, because he threw a good block on Blaney and made him go way high, and Blaney was by himself. Bubba should have stayed bottom and had the bottom line. It's a lot to absorb in the moment. Yeah. But I think this is where there is a legitimate skill set for super speedway racers that can manage all this mentally in their mind. It's not so much a physical hitting perfect lines, hitting great lap times around racetracks. It's a mental chess game that you can know, if I throw a haymaker down low, make Blaney go by himself on the top,
they're all going to go around him.
Now I got the whole bottom line that's stacked up.
Yeah.
That's what makes a really good super speedway racers like Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Wait a second. You just said really good speedway races and said Kyle Busch.
That's what makes...
That's not normally together.
Sorry. But Kyle Busch is in the play a lot.
He is.
But you see Kyle Busch, patient, stayed at the bottom, stayed with the line.
Kept his car clean. Yeah. I mean...
Denny Hamlin, when Ryan Newman's crash.
Yep.
You know, Chase Elliott made some great moves. Last year's kind of different, but I think there's definitely Brad Keselowski, the most winningest super speedway driver right now in the Cup Series. I mean, there's a skill set.
There is.
And it's a mental chess game.
Yeah. If you're gonna throw blocks, you got to get ready for the big push. Because if you're blocking someone, they're not gonna just help you and keep bumping you up.
No, they're trying to win too.
You got to get ready for that, and that's what happened. That's why he crashed.
Yeah,
that's why he.
Well, I mean, he's turning left and getting pushed in the rear.
Yeah.
He's gonna get spun out.
Now you got to expect that. I mean, so I could understand why you're saying about the blocking. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's a chess game. You got to be ahead of the game. I mean, Denny Hamlin didn't win 3 Daytona 500s by chance.
No.
The dude's really good.
Yeah.
He's almost always.
Well, Denny Hamlin has said it on his own podcast. He's like, winning one super speedway is one thing. When you have done it multiple times is when you start showing.
Bro.
That's when you start showing.
Hamlin has what, 2 500s?
3.
And
three 500s.
I'm sorry. 2 Talladegas and 3 500s is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, is always up there at the top.
Bro, you ain't winning no 500 by chance multiple times.
No. All right. So moving on with our About It section, we're moving on to our Kuzman question of the week. Ryan Kuzman on Twitter, he sent us another question. So if you guys have a question that you want us to answer on the show, all you have to do is send us in a DM on Twitter, or we try to post things on Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, and you guys can always reply to those, and it'll get over to us as well.
I won't even go into this very much, But Kuzman, you're clutch, bro.
just saying, we poured one out for you. Wait, no, we can't do that because sorry, you're underage. Never mind.
Is he?
I thought I heard he was.
Know.
I don't know how old he is. Maybe he is a grown man. I don't know.
Sorry, Kuzman.
I'm sorry if you are. I was
to disrespect you like that, bro.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If so, take two. All right, this went off the rails.
Come on, man. He's our number one fan, dude.
No, he's number two. He's behind Grandma.
Oh, that's right. Shout out to Grandma.
Yeah. Thanks, Grandma, for listening. All right, so Kuzman's question of the week. So far through this year, do you feel like this car exceeded your expectations, or has it been about what you expected? Or is it trash and want it changed? Personally, I have enjoyed the races. I love that. Is it trash? He's even talking like us. Personally, I've enjoyed the races and I've been able to watch. Definitely love the super speedway package and the road course and short track package. I wouldn't mind higher horsepower cars at like the 1.5 mile tracks. So basically, so far likes the short package, super speedway and the road course packages. Intermediates, he said, just crank up the horsepower. I'll go first. So, yeah, in my opinion, I definitely like the idea of the extra horsepower. We've talked about that several times. I think you could probably do that at more than just the intermediates. I think you could probably do that at almost all of them. Maybe super speedways only because, danger, air, flip car, bad.
Right. They'll figure it out.
It's not all bad.
Oh, gosh, not like your voice.
Bro, it's going away.
Jake's been talking way too much. Jake's like, I lost my voice. What am I going to do? Go on a podcast and talk.
I'm about it.
So as far as the car goes, I'm going to be honest. I've been a little disappointed so far. I think the super speedway, or not the super speedway, the short track package adjustments they made recently have been good. I think that's improved it a lot. The intermediates, I thought the intermediates were a big step up from the Gen 6. So I think that's definitely something good. The super speedway, to be honest, in my opinion, not much different. I could be off, but I don't see as much of a huge difference there. So yeah, I think overall, I think probably in about 2 years, we'll probably look back and be like, yeah, it's a better car. I just kind of chalk it up at this point to they're still learning the car. They're still figuring it out. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. Nate? No, Jake. No, Jake. We're going to make him talk more.
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
I was trying to give Jake a break.
I think these cars need to go to high horsepower, 900,000, whatever. That'll fix a lot. Get rid of shifting at short tracks. That'll fix that. Mm-hmm. The super speedway package, I think they probably need just a little bit more motor and just a little bit more drag reduction. Just a little bit. And this racing will be amazing. Perfect. I think that'll probably fix a lot of it. But I think this car has incredible potential, but we need to see some compromise. We need a tire that wears out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we need horsepower.
Yeah.
So you get rid of shifting, you give me horsepower, you give me a tire that wears out, and you continue to tweak aero packages as teams find different things and as the car advances, because that'll never stop.
Yeah, that'll constantly be a thing.
I mean, the Gen 6 had new super speedway packages. Felt like every freaking super speedway race we had a new plate, a new spoiler, a new whatever.
Yeah.
So as long as that keeps evolving to keep the racing competitive and you fix the other three main issues, this car could be amazing. If they don't, this car will be hot trash.
Yeah.
As Mr. Kuzman says.
I mean, there's not much more really to go off of. I think you hit a lot of the topics that needed to be hit.
Yeah.
Personally, I like the car. I think the car looks great. I like the schemes. I like the number changing. I like the rim.
That was a good move.
Everything of the car looks great.
Can I say I love the rim?
Oh yeah, the aluminum rim.
I was so skeptical.
I was too.
I love it, especially when Penske comes out with them chrome.
Oh, they look great. I mean, you can't. This car hits in style every single week. Doesn't matter the scheme. Doesn't matter the driver. It always hits. Now, the actual race performance, I think it's just year two. You know, I really don't want to go too in depth and say this car is the worst. This car, it needs major changes. It needs a lot of good changes in order to get the fan attendance. I mean, Talladega looked pretty packed there, but it's a super speedway. It's Talladega. It is what it is. But yeah, no, I think it just needs just those changes. Like
we talked about before we had the podcast. We talked about that the car is going to need work.
Always.
Oh yeah. I mean, they did it during COVID via simulation. Not much. Well, they did a lot of physical testing, but not really.
They had to delay it.
Yep. So it needs changes. I just don't want to hold back on changes.
Yeah.
Right. I think changes should come quicker.
They need to be working on next year, bro.
They shouldn't be.
I'm sure
saying,
they are.
Oh well, we're looking at more horsepower, but it's gonna
based off the podcast I hear. I don't really hear that.
They shouldn't say it's gonna take 9 to 12 months in order to get a faster engine. That's hot trash.
No, yeah, but that's a parts issue. It's not a that is.
Or at least this was never a parts issue.
But they should at least just say they're working on it.
Engines that did that.
Manufacturers.
Or they should just say that they're doing it. Even if it's not even like, hey, we will have this. No, don't give us a date. Hey, we're exploring higher horsepower engines.
What's interesting, what I heard is it sounds like, and I forget which podcast I heard this from, but it sounds like some manufacturers are about it. They want it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Other manufacturers do not.
I personally
NASCAR does not, because of their potential future manufacturers do not want it.
Okay, what are we talking about? Do not want, because I'm losing it now.
Okay, if you get
more
Honda,
motor,
more horsepower, like Honda.
I can think of one manufacturer specifically that I don't think they're in our sport because of the horsepower.
Dodge,
yes,
because there's not enough.
Yes, because their base engines are like 600 or 700 horsepower.
Scat Pack. Scat.
Wow, what a good speaker.
I know. The Scat Pack is like the Scat Pack, which is like the base like muscle car for them is like 485.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
The Demon is way up.
Yeah. Now, granted, that's a drag car, not a.
I could see Ford and Chevy both fine with going to a bigger motor because they've been here forever.
Yeah, they don't care.
I would wager Toyota is probably the bump in the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what car do they have that's over 400 or 500?
Depends. How big is the turbo on the Supra?
That would be the only car.
I don't know the stats on that.
I can tell you, depending on how many turbos and how big the turbos are on a Supra, you can squeeze out a boatload of power out of those engines.
Bro, I want a Supra so bad.
Oh, the Supra
they look so nasty.
No, they would not.
Okay,
that's the problem.
There's the problem.
So that's the problem. Toyota's like, oh, we can't figure out V8s. we can't use turbos. What?
But at this time, I mean, how much are you really taking from the Cup Series and learning for your street car? So what's the holdup?
Yeah,
This goes back to, I feel like people are out of touch with what the viewer really sees.
Now that, to be fair, you were talking about like Honda and stuff. Like if they want to come in, like are they probably? I don't know if they have 1,000 horsepower engines. Maybe they do. They do racing like
they ran Indy.
They do. So
I mean, I don't know what their horsepower is. But
I don't know even off the top of my head. I'd have to look.
It's got to be fast.
It's fast. You certainly aren't putting anything like that in the car.
No.
That'd be baller, bro.
I mean, they're running with Ferraris and Porsches.
They are
put an IndyCar engine in your Civic.
Okay, so IndyCar's engines, from what I can see, are twin turbo V6s, 2.2 liters, between 550 and 750, probably depending on packages.
2.2?
2.2. They're twin turbos.
Wow.
A Cup Series engine is 5.8.
Yeah, we looked that up today.
5.87.
More specifically. We got to give Jake a break before. Nate, how do you feel about this compared to the old gen? All right, moving on.
Nate, do you remember the old gen? All right.
All right. Yep, that's what I thought. All right. So thank you, Kuzman. Thank you for sending in your question. We really appreciate it. You're the man.
Super clutch.
Yep, super clutch for sure. If you guys want to hit us up on Twitter. Definitely we will respond back to you guys. But also, if you have any questions you want us to answer on the show, be more than happy to get those thrown in. So looking forward to next week, where you're going to the Monster Mile. We're going to Dover. Anything specifically that we are looking forward to?
Big Bristol.
With or without dirt?
So for Nate, since to give you some context, because I don't think you've seen a Dover race yet. They call it the Monster Mile because, man, sometimes they wreck because it's kind of narrow. Sometimes
narrow.
they can be big. But it's a hard track, and it's cool because
it's go down concrete, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all concrete.
You go down the straightaway, and we're running on iRacing this week, so you can see. But the corner actually drops, like almost like a roller coaster, and then banks.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's weird. It's real weird.
So weird.
It doesn't feel like that much, even in iRacing. It feels like a lot, but like when you think about it, it drops like a story.
Dang.
Bro, it's crazy.
It's weird. It's weird.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
It's going to be a
Dover
it's a fun
is
race.
super cool, man.
So this was Jimmy's old
Oh,
domination.
God. He has
used to
10 wins here?
Yeah, Jimmy used to dominate this track. Like this was Jimmy's track back in the day. So
he's not racing it, is he?
No.
I thought
His next race is the 600, right?
I thought he said Dover he was coming back for.
Is he?
I could be wrong. Let me see.
He'd be in the 84, right?
Yes, the 84 because he can't have the 48.
Who?
So
I swear he's still just dyslexic.
I mean, he might be.
Who won the last Dover race?
I don't know.
Now you're
it was a Hendrick car again.
I just remember Chastain wrecked Truex.
Let's say
and he was
Bowman.
pissed.
Let's just throw Bowman in there. Why not?
No, Bowman only won one race last year.
I don't know. Let's see. I don't know who's running. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Okay. That looks accurate.
Who was it?
Chase Elliott.
Yeah,
Chase Elliott
sure.
won last year.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Wow, the last two races there were both Hendricks.
That's
From what I
Bowman
see,
and then
Jimmy,
Elliott.
from what I see, Jimmy's next race is.
Oh wow,
Sorry,
that's
sorry.
a great pause.
And I as soon as I said that, I opened up an article that said, "Is Jimmy racing Dover 2023?" is the Coke 600?
Oh, okay.
Well, that's good.
So Dover. So this is not a short track. So we will not see the new short track package there. We will not see the wet weather package. Sorry, not the rain package. The wet weather package. We won't see the mud flaps that set everything on fire.
So I don't believe this will include the short
Set
spoiler.
everything on fire.
Bro, every time we got someone running mud flaps, they burn the car to the ground.
Is it intentional? Wink, wink, wink. I think it is.
Burn them down.
Burn it down.
It might be.
You've seen too many Chad Knaus interviews.
Probably. So but yeah, so we won't see the wet weather package. This is basically going to be an intermediate package, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll be running the intermediate package.
This and Bristol run this package.
Because they're the only two that have like a special package because they're just kind of very unique tracks,
it's just
right?
the same as the rest.
Just the banking so much on them.
Yes.
Because Dover has pretty high banking, right?
Yeah, super high.
Yeah.
It's not like Bristol high, but it's high.
Yeah.
It's very high.
It's pretty close.
Thank you for anyone that got my Star Wars reference. I appreciate it. I had to throw that in.
Oh, I thought you said that for 420.
Oh, that would have been more appropriate.
Shout out to Kyle Busch winning on 420 weekend.
Why 420 blaze it when you can Krispy Kreme glaze it?
All right.
And Nate's back, everybody.
All right, Nate.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real with Nate. Tune in next week for Keeping It Real with Nate Part 7. All right. That was great. Oh, I got to go back and listen to that just because I want to get that phrase right. We got to make a shirt out of that. All right. So Dover. So anyone got any kind of last thoughts before we kind of wrap up the show? Because otherwise, that's pretty much everything.
Yeah, I want to give my dad a shout out. I've been going to races with my dad since I was probably four. I can remember some of my earliest memories are sitting at Bristol in the old concrete stands on the backstretch. And I was little, real little. I had to be like 4 years old.
You had a voice back then too.
Yeah. Whatever. But it was fun, man. I mean, my dad pretty much watched the whole Talladega race with us. He was a big Earnhardt fan and kind of fell out of it for a while when after Earnhardt died. Tried to be a Junior fan, but it wasn't the same. And then since Ross Chastain has come around, driving through the grass in Atlanta and cutting the road course at Indy, the wall ride at Martinsville, my dad's become a fan of Chastain because Chastain only cares about himself. I love it, man.
He just wants to win.
It's about him and his team. He don't care about nobody.
Nah.
So it's just been fun to see my dad get back into it and then watch races again together because my first Cup race was 2001. My mom and dad used to go to Bristol. They went like 30 years straight, season passes, or they just like the yearly renewal or whatever. And my first Cup race was 2001, and it was after Earnhardt died because my mom didn't want to go. And I watched Kevin Harvick's I watched Kevin Harvick at Bristol in Earnhardt's car, and had a 3 on the track and just everything. So just like memory road and just all that to come back and watch a race together has just been super fun. So
it was a good time today.
Shout out to Pops, man, to get to watch Talladega and hang out and have a good time.
Yeah, it was fun. We might be posting a video later of because our boy Lewis, our friend, he was here with us and he was.
Bro, that junk is posted.
Oh, we already did?
Oh, yeah. His victory lap is posted.
So Lewis is a big Kyle Busch fan because I think he purposely wanted to pick. He was like, who's the guy that everybody hates? And so he's like, all right, I'm going to be a Kyle Busch fan. And so he's a Kyle Busch guy. And, bro, he was running all over the place. So he was super excited. So shout out to Lewis.
We got a dog on Lewis.
Fake Kyle Busch fan. He's been picking Kyle Busch, I think, every single week. And the one week he didn't pick him.
He's wearing all the merch.
Every week.
All the merch.
All of it. He might as well have Kyle Busch underwear.
He might.
Bro, I'm just waiting for him to roll up with an 8 tattoo. That's how far it is.
He's going to die hard. And he didn't pick him this race. I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know. So there was that moment. The two best moments were Lewis's victory lap. And then the other one was when Matt all of a sudden takes off his Brad Keselowski jersey that he made.
I was planning this.
And he takes it off and he just turns and looks at all of us and is like, thanks, Ross. And you look down at his black shirt and it's a hashtag thanks, Ross Chastain t-shirt.
I bought this shirt when it first came out. I was like, I don't have any official like Ross Chastain merch. It's always a pain in the butt to get some at the track because it's always sold out.
Always.
Bro, it's always a huge line.
I know. I'm always in those lines. I know.
And I saw it. I was like, that's cool. That's unique. I'm going to grab that. And I'm going to surprise everyone. So I was waiting this entire race. Waiting this entire race.
This has been
for Chastain to do something Chastain-ish. And he finally did it on the one of the last restarts.
Yep.
And then I was able to stand up, rip off my shirt, and it said hashtag thanks for us. So I was so funny. I was planning this.
I was really wondering because I was like, man, Matt must be really upset to take off his Brad jersey for this moment. And then
I was like, why'd you take it off? Brad didn't even wreck. I was like, are you retarded?
You didn't even realize
like, what did I miss?
I had to like slap you in the arm and be like, look at my shirt. And you're like, oh.
I literally laughed. And then I was like, what the heck? As soon as he turns, I saw the little melon on the shirt. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. Yeah, it was a great time.
No, it took me a minute. I was like, what in the world?
So
I was so lost, bro.
It was a good time for sure. So, all right, you guys got anything you guys want to say before we wrap things up?
Shout out to the fans, man. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, always.
Big facts, man.
Absolutely. Yep, definitely glad you guys are listening. So, thank you for hanging out with us for this little bit. We appreciate it. And for some reason, I do not have sound. This is awkward.
Anyway,
lots of fun. All right.
Keep talking until I can figure out why we don't have sound.
I would say, don't forget, man, like Twitter, social media, especially Twitter. I can't. Me and Matt do all the Twitter stuff.
No, don't tell him. I post some dumb shit.
Plausible deniability because they don't know which one it is.
Oh, if it's dumb, it's probably me.
But I mean,
it's an actual legitimate argument. It was probably James.
I don't know because I got yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna say me because I was like, yeah, I got into a couple this week.
No,
if you're gonna be dumb, I'm gonna call you out. Bro, there was somebody posted something dumb. I was like, hashtag blocked. See you later. Felt like Brett Griffin over here.
Oh my gosh.
Leave Brett alone. But no, if you interact with us on Twitter, it is pretty much a guarantee. We want to talk to you guys. We're just race fans. We love talking to people. We love talking racing just like we're doing now.
Debate us. It's fine.
100%.
Jake's always looking for a good argument.
I'm always looking for a good fight.
That's true.
I'll post the memes.
I don't need no voice on Twitter.
That's true. All right, guys. It's been great hanging out with you guys. And if you're listening, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We'll see you later, y'all.
All right. See you.
Peace.
Later. Yee-yee.